Hi, my name is Steve Stine from guitarzoom.com, and I've literally taught millions of guitar players from over 100 countries. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do here is just look at some basic open chords. Let's say I played an A chord. Now again, don't worry about how you play your A versus how I'm playing the A chord, just as long as we're thinking about an A chord. So the root or main note of an A chord would be the note A. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the 6th string and we're going to find the note A, which would be at the 5th fret of the 6th string. So what we're going to do is visually we're going to look right below it onto the 5th string and we're going to play 5-7, 5-7, 5-7. So those are the 6 notes of your 6-note soloing technique. So we've got an A chord. We think about the name of the chord, A. So we find the note A on the 6th string, which is at the 5th fret. We look directly below it, and we start there and play 6 notes using 5-7, 5-7, 5-7. And you'll notice I'm using the 1st and 3rd fingers as well. Now, it doesn't matter how fast you play. That's all things that you can work on as you continue learning how to play the guitar. But I want you to visualize those. Now, the big thing with those 6 notes is in the center, we have the 5th string, 4th string, and 3rd string. So let's look at the 4th string. And let's look at the note where our 3rd finger is, which is the 7th fret right there. That note is A. That's the root. So what we want to learn to do is move toward that using these 6 notes. We want to learn to direct our movements toward that note in the center. And that's how it's going to start sounding like an actual solo. So what you want to try and avoid is don't just play them. You could certainly do something like that, but the most important thing is you start thinking about a few different kinds of things that we do as guitar players. For instance, repetition. So if I think about this as kind of being the most important note because it's the A, what I could do is I could try and make little movements toward that A. So maybe I make something that goes... You see, and I use repetition, so you hear it more than once. Or maybe I'm moving this direction toward the ceiling. You see? I could jump around. I call it meandering, where you just kind of move around using these 6 notes, looking for different kinds of sounds. And if you like something that you played, you learn how to repeat it. Use it in repetition. Okay? Different kinds of things like that. The other thing we talk about a lot as guitar players is something called phrasing. So phrasing is thinking about the rhythm that you're hearing. For instance, we know that the chord is A, or maybe the song is in the key of A, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to listen to that rhythm, and immediately we start thinking about bum, 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 that kind of thing. So when we get into these 6 notes, dun, 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 dun. Now again, it takes a little while to develop the speed and all those sorts of things, and that's what practice is all about. Hey, I'd like to give you my book, Unlocking the Fretboard Connection, for free. You can download it at guitarzoom.com/freebook, or check out the link in the description. So your 5 minutes are going to be spent learning to think about the chord you're on, or the chord that you need, find that note on the 6th string, and then explore those 6 notes. That's what your 5-minute practice is going to be. Okay? Let's say we had something like G. So we would find G on the 6th string, which is going to be the 3rd fret. We're going to go directly below it and play those 3 notes. So this time now we're playing 3, 5, 3, 5, 3, 5 with the center string containing the root. And don't be afraid to use repetition on single notes as well. See, lots of really cool stuff that you can come up with. How about a D chord? Maybe you know a D chord. So now we would look for D, which is going to be all the way on the 10th fret. Go directly below it. Okay. And start making things from there. So if that makes sense, that's the idea of the 6-note soloing technique. You can find any chord and you can simply drop down from the 6th string and play those 6 notes. Now, I want to keep going though, and this is, of course, the video isn't 5 minutes long, the practice is 5 minutes long, but I do want to show you some other things if you're interested. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about what I call chord chasing. Let's say we had a song that's going from D to C to G. You know, maybe something, right? So, and especially if we're going to be on that chord a little bit longer, that helps too. So let's say we're doing something where we're going D, C, G, maybe it goes back to D, right? So we have D, C, G, D. So what we could do is we could find the D, here comes C, so we move down to C, go down to G, and then back up to D. So that's called chord chasing. It's something that I teach over at guitarzoom.com. You can learn all about that sort of thing. All you do is head over there, guitarzoom.com, check out my guitar courses, all that sort of thing. But chord chasing is something that you can simply do. You don't need to do a lot. Maybe you just do something and C, G, and then D. You see, make basic ideas, basic melodic ideas work really, really well when you first start learning how to solo. So that's something that you can do as well. So let's recap here. Your 5 minutes, you're going to find a chord that you want, be it A or G or D or whatever it might be, anything. You're going to find that note on the 6th string. You're going to drop down and you're going to take those 6 notes directly below it. So again, recapping, A is here, we drop down, I play those 3 notes, or those 3 strings, excuse me, okay? With the middle string containing the root, the kind of the holy grail, if you will, of all of these notes, the note we want to try and direct our movements toward. Now we can go to other notes, we can, emphasize other notes, but that note is really, really important to us. That's what your basic practice is about. And then you can start expanding it by doing something like chord chasing, like I just talked about, okay? So to kind of take this to the next level here, let's talk about what I promised. We're going to talk about learning the notes on the 6th string. So if you don't know any of the notes on your guitar, this is a great way of being able to do this. And I'm just going to show it on the 6th string, and then you can do it on any other string as well. So the first thing we have to do is we have to know that the notes in music are A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. Okay, start with that. So all the white notes on a piano, for instance, okay, the white keys are A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. And then in between those white keys, we have black keys, and those are called sharps or flats. And I want to make this super easy for you, so we're going to skip a few things, but please remember, as you continue learning, you're going to learn more of this kind of information. You're going to learn more about soloing, all kinds of different things, right? And again, we offer all of that at guitarzoom.com. But just follow me, just to keep this nice and basic. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the notes A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. There's 7 of them. And we're going to give them all sharps, okay? So if we took the 7 notes and we gave the 7 white keys and we gave them 7 black keys, we'd wind up with a total of 14 notes. Well, we don't have 14 notes. We only have 12. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the notes B and E, and we're not going to give them sharps at this point. We're only going to talk in terms of sharps right now, just to keep things nice and easy. So if you think about it, if you were on the piano, you'd have the note, and it's okay if you don't play piano, but you'd have the note A. And then right above it, higher in pitch, you'd have a black key. That's A sharp. And then above that, you'd have a white key, which is B. And then above that, you'd have another white key, because there's no black key right there. That's C. That's what confuses people. So an easy way of thinking about all of this that I'm talking about is just understand that all your notes are going to get sharps at this point, except for B and E, which spells the word B. So if you thought about just the notes, again, you don't need to think about the piano necessarily, just the notes. You'd have A sharp, B, nothing, and then C sharp, D, D sharp, E, nothing, and then F, F sharp, G, G sharp. So if you get used to thinking about that, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, I always do a circle so you kind of understand that the notes just keep going. We call that octaves. They just keep going. You know, on the piano, we have 88 keys. We don't have 88 notes. We have the same notes over and over and over in octaves. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Everybody gets a sharp except for B and E, which spells the word B. So if we look at the guitar now, we can use that to memorize these notes. So this note right here would be E. Okay? This note would be whatever comes after E. Now again, you might say E sharp, but we've just learned that there is no black key in the center. So we're not going to say E sharp. We're going to go directly to F. So this note is F. And then what comes after F is F sharp, G, G sharp, A, because remember it starts all over, A sharp, B, be careful, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, and then finally E, which E would have 2 dots because it's telling you you've gone from E to E, so that's an octave. So the rest of the guitar is the repeat of the first part. So 0 is the same as 12, those are E's, 1 would be F, 2 would be F sharp, and so on. So we don't want to worry about all of this, we just want to learn this first part. So that's what you need to learn are the notes. E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E. Now there's an easier way to learn this as well. So start with that, but then this is something else you can learn. Start looking at the odd numbered frets. So we have 0, which is open, that's just given. But let's go to the first odd number fret, which is F, first fret here. So that note is F. If we go to 3, that's G. If we go to A, that's 5. If we go to B, that's 7. So we have 1, 3, 5, 7, all odd numbers, F, G, A, B. So that's a great little shortcut that you can learn is learning that F, G, A, B all exist on the odd numbers. So what's in between it? F sharp, or G sharp, or A sharp. And if you do know your flats, all you have to do is say the other one going backwards. So for instance, F sharp, G flat, G sharp, A flat, A sharp, B flat. So A sharp and B flat are called enharmonics. They share the same pitch or same sound, they just have 2 different names. So again, not trying to confuse you, just so you understand. A lot of people don't say A sharp, they say B flat. Well, now you know where that is on the guitar. Again, there's more theory behind these things that you can learn, but it's a great place to start. So 1, 3, 5, 7, F, G, A, B, and then you get to C, which is on the 8th fret, and D, which is on the 10th fret. So those aren't odd numbers, but they do surround the 9th fret. So you could learn, visually, you could learn F, G, A, B, C, and D surround that odd number, C and D. And you'd have all these notes. So I always try and teach people to think about what we'll call the primary notes, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then find the secondary notes, sharps or flats, in between those because you already know where the primary notes are. Okay? So that would help you in not only knowing your open chords or whatever, but being able to find the note that you want on the 6th string. So if you were looking for something like F sharp, you wouldn't have to panic. You could just think, oh, so E, F, F sharp. Or you'd already know this note is F, so you just move up and you're on F sharp. And then you could do your 6-note solo technique from there. Thank you for watching this video. If you're enjoying this video and you'd like to support the channel so we can continue to bring you more free content, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications and let me know what you think in the comments below. Also, if you'd like more in-depth training and courses, go to guitarzoom.com and get started for free today.